not reading the King James Version because it's appropriate, because I got to go back and we're going to dissect this thing. Because I want to share what God shared with me throughout it. So thank God it's short. But therefore prisoners. Yes. And I was thinking about that thing like, we are literally prisoners to Christ. Because God will have us doing things that we necessarily wouldn't want to do. And living in a way that we necessarily don't agree with. Because if it was up to me, some of the things Chaise want to do ain't necessarily Christian.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Ain't necessarily, I'm going to be honest, ain't necessarily right.
Right.
Ain't necessarily moral, especially when you're married.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of things, right. When you have odds with your spouse or whatever, there's a lot of things that you would like to do, right? Outside of what is biblical and what godly standards, right?
Right.
And I ain't gonna be fake with you. You want me to? I can't do that. But there's some things in the way you even brought up. Fornication is just as easy as me seeing somebody that I thought was attractive. My mind went elsewhere. Now I'm in a whole different place. Now I'm fornicating.
Right.
Now it's better for me to pluck my eyes out and be blind for the rest of my life. I mean, it's the word.
Right.
Then for me to burn.
Right.
With the whole body.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I thought about that thing like, God, all your ways. And I use that because adultery is in the Bible so many times.
Right.
And that's something that we all can relate to.
Right.
And, you know, I could have used anything, but I like to use that because that's a big thing that we are fought with. But it also says, it talks about prisoners of the Lord. Now, Paul talks about Paul was a man who did not actually want to serve God.
Right.
He was called several times before he finally answered the call. After he answered, his life was not made much better. His life wasn't even better once he decided to come with Christ.
Right.
In fact, that then he asked God 3 times to remove a thorn in his side, and God never removed it. He never removed the thorn. He suffered many things to be able to preach the gospel of Christ.
Right.
We suffer many things to be able to preach Christ.
Come on now.
Our witness, our testimony, things that we cry about at night, during the day, the things that we go through amongst each other. We suffer that so we can have a witness for Christ.
Right.
And I think, you know, sometimes you just got to thank God for that. Amen. And then it continues. It went on to say, it talks about the prisoner of the Lord, beseech ye, you that ye walk forth of the vocation. And I looked up that word vocation because that was a word I wasn't familiar with. A strong feeling of the word in there that they used I didn't like. So I changed that to a strong feeling of submissive for a particular career or application. And the sentiments for that was calling, life's work, mission, and profession. So when we confess that we are living for Christ, and we accept the calling, and that's what he did. He accepted the calling after 3 times. This is our job. And it ain't like, you know, sometimes people can work a 4-hour shift, that's part-time. And then you got an 8-hour shift, that's full-time. This is a full-time job. Jesus worked full-time. That's why they were so mad at him about doing stuff on the Sabbath.
Right.
He's like, I'm Jesus full-time. Like, I'm about my father's business full-time. And that's what that's the example that he gave us to continue when he left.
Right.
We got to do this full-time. We don't get no breaks. Right. You know what I'm saying? If I'm pastor all the time.
Come on.
If I'm a minister, I'm a minister all the time.
Right.
If I'm a deacon, I'm a deacon all the time.
All the time.
You know? So that's what that word means. And then it continues, the next word was vocations wherein ye are called with all lowliness. And I looked up that word, lowliness. Low in standard or importance, humble. You know, sometimes you can feel low,
Yeah.
not needed, you know, or taken advantage of. And then it talks about the meekness. That was the next word, to be submissive. When I looked at the word, it was talk about submissive with meekness. When we take these calls, sometimes it takes a lot of meekness, submission in your call to do it. Especially when people come at you in different ways in their flesh.
Right.
But you a minister.
Right.
So you on your job. So you can't act if somebody else they not working. Most people that we deal with, that's not their job. They can do whatever they want to until they know Christ.
Right.
Until they have accepted something. But as we accepted something, and I'm learning that on my job. As it is natural, so it is spiritual.
Right.
When I get hit with these things that my boss come at me with, and I want to go into, okay, Chaise, represent yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm learning. Chaise can't represent itself. If Christ represent me already, why am I pushing God out the way? Maybe God gonna do something that I don't know He got to do, and He's setting me up. God setting me up. Not He don't know what He doing. He being mean in His flesh. But God sometimes will let stuff happen to us because it's a setup.
Right.
Like Joseph, when his brother set him up,
Right.
so he could be elevated. He knew the promise.
Uh-huh.
He knew where he was going. He didn't know how he was going to get there.
Right.